All right. Now let's see whether we have a live show today or not. Tiny checkups. And let's see what Levi says. Cool. It's go, right? Awesome. Awesome. So we made it. Super. Let me pull up my little cheat sheet, and you might see my puppy Dinka here trying to stand her ears. There you go. You can see the tip of her ears. She's very sleepy. We didn't do the doggy walk today morning, but she's very cuddly and snuggly because it was a little bit cooler this morning, so she's going to be on her best behavior. All right, let me start the timer so I can check how far we are. And all right, let's do this. So, welcome to the How to Nail Price Raising for Your Services webinar. I'm Betty Petto. I'm the owner of Wholesome Doodle Spa and the co-founder of the Pet Groomer app. That's enough about me. Let's jump right in. Why is it so hard to raise prices? Raising prices used to be my boogeyman. I was afraid, anxious, but most often terrified of it because over the years, I realized it was because I did not have the clarity and the tools to pick the right number, present the right number to my clients in a way that they felt comfortable and clear with. So did I, in a way that helped them love it, get it, and pay it. So today we're going to talk about that overwhelm and how to come over it. That price raising overwhelm generally comes from 3+1 core problems. I'd like to break it one into these 4 elements that we often try to answer all at once, so it becomes a little bit bigger bite than we can handle. So if we take a look at these 4 things, they are, let's name them and then we can break them up into smaller sections. So the first thing is understanding the value, the reasons for price raising. The second part is how much should we raise? Finding that sweet spot number that works for us so we feel that we can pay the bills and our sweat is worth it all. And the third part is going to be how do I present the new prices to my clients so they will be the most likely to get it, love it, and pay it. And the fourth section is going to be about how to make price raising admin friendly. We all know the headache of the administrative part of price raising. So I'm going to talk about ways to make it super simple, centralized, so you raise prices only in one spot for your grooming labor. So it's going to be click, edit, save, and you're done with it. You don't have to rewrite your whole price list like a madman and spend hours, if not even days, updating your whole system. Cool. If you have any questions, you can shoot them to me in the comments or any other contact info, and I will try to keep an eye on them and answer them. But I built in quite a few questions along today's content, so we might answer them as we go along. All right, so part 1, reasons for raising prices. The no-brainer way is increased costs, like the shampoo, conditioner, electricity, water, everything will go up January 1st every year. So the increased cost of supply fee requires increase in prices for the groomers. There is another layer to it, which is improved skills. Oftentimes we kind of ignore it because we like the better results what we do, but we forget to pitch it and price it to the clients. So as the years go by and you groom more and more doggies, then your skills are going to be better and your haircuts are going to be better. You're going to be able to handle the doggies better. So all that needs to be followed by an appropriate price tag that we often forget to put on there. Higher demand. The moment you start building out your business and clients start rolling or flooding, then you can do beautiful things with that leverage. When the demand is higher, there is a little bit of scratchy. Okay, go back down. Perfect. Whenever the demand is high, we can totally leverage that and help you reach a work less, earn more level of business management. I would like to do a little footnote here about why waitlists are income restrictive. So generally speaking, when we approach waiting lists, we feel that, or they say that our business is doing great, which is true. Our business can do great when we adopt a wait list. The problem is with that capping that we put a wait list there, we put a stop to a beautiful bloom in revenue and income growth without hiring or expanding your business. Let's say you're a home-based groomer. Your schedule is getting fuller and you are not able to schedule recurring clients if you were to put more people on your client list. And you wouldn't be able to find a spot like in 6 weeks or 8 weeks for your recurring clients. That's a problem. And we need to resolve that. And if we try to resolve that with a wait list and not accepting new clients, then we block ourselves in that price rate that we are currently doing. And we say no to a higher price tag, a higher level of clients, like pitching to premium clients, because the moment your work goes out and is spread by your clients that you're awesome, higher and higher tiered clients will come rolling in because they're after the quality and the experience you provide. And whenever you are selling a Louis Vuitton bag, then you can price it at a $50 price tag. You get what I'm saying? So whenever we put a wait list, it might give us temporary relief or room to breathe. But if you want to earn more and work less, you need to leverage that increase in new clients or possible new clients and take advantage of the number of new clients and leverage that with raising prices so you can work less and earn more. This is how you do it, the backbone of how you do it. Different services provided is the next layer. Different client prospect groups are looking for different value. And different services provide different value to different client prospect groups. To give you a proper example of this is I like to distinguish between 3 client prospect groups: the bargain hunters, the people after quality, and the people after experience. The bargain hunters are people looking for quantity. They have very limited funds and they want a lot of things to get done. They have less desire to a quality groom, but they have the get it done mentality and approach mindset. So their value is the cheapest, the coupons, the lowest price, and they are looking for the cheapest price, not the best service. When people in the group 2, the quality group, they are after a great quality haircut. They don't mind pay a little bit higher price, but it has to come with a great quality trim. And the people after the experience, they not only want a great quality trim, but they also want the doggies to be handled and the communication and everything else that involves the experience to be top-notch and highest quality. And they are very happy to pay a higher, much higher price tag for it. So whenever you start to pitch to people who are after quality and experience, you instantly need to raise your prices to make their shortlist, to differentiate yourself from other groomers. It's like whenever you are selling for quality and experienced people, you start to sell Louis Vuitton bags or Lamborghinis. You can't price them at a lower price because that will tell them that it's a fake, or that will just instantly lock you out from their perspective, because a higher price signals a higher quality for them. So you can choose to balance or to pick different client prospect groups. And when I started out, I was attracting, without even knowing or intentionally, I was attracting bargain hunter clients who really wanted the cheapest price possible and who just wanted it get done. Preferably with me doing a little bit of daycare as well, because they wanted to drop the doggy off in the morning and pick them up later. The moment you start to pitch to different client prospect groups like quality and experienced people, they want one-on-one service. So if you're already doing one-on-one service, then that means that you could price your services higher than the other conventional grooming facilities in your area, because highly likely that the conventional grooming facilities are doing batch grooming, like batch drop-offs in the morning or in the afternoons, and then the doggy gets done whenever it's their turn. When you're providing one-on-one service, that's a very high value service for group 2-3 people, the quality and experienced people, so you can raise your prices accordingly. Customized care to dogs is another thing. Bargain hunter clients often just want it done, and you are the pro, you do it whatever, the cheapest possible way. Whenever you are pitching to quality people and experienced people, they know what they want, and they are relying on your expertise to do it or to help them understand why it couldn't be done. And whenever you add that extra time and extra care and attention, then you can add the extra price to come along with it. Quality and experienced people absolutely don't mind. They prefer these services. So say you have a meet and greet with the client, and then you can talk about what they want, whether it could be done, whether you provide that service or not, and you can build a balanced relationship that builds on trust, which is super helpful, because I wish it could be the same deal for even the bargain hunter clients, because getting on the same page with any client from any client prospect group is critical in a joyful and mutually beneficial relationship. So once you add this customized care, and highly likely you are doing it, when home-based groomers often already doing this and just not pricing properly for these services. And I hope this gives you a new perspective on this layer. To go on another layer, cons of by size and by weight or by breed pricing. In a nutshell, whenever we are pricing by size, weight, or breed, we lack differentiating a value. We can say I groom doggies one-on-one, which is a high value service for clients in the quality and experience group. Whenever we say the price for a small dog or a doggy between 20 to 25 pounds or to a multi-poo, Chihuahua mix, whatever, we don't give a value there. The client prospects can't grasp the value. So whenever you are raising prices, clients don't know the reason, because one-on-one grooming is a high value service. Grooming a Chihuahua doesn't really tell anything. It's just Chihuahua. And sometimes it takes even longer because the doggy is not used to grooming or not collaborative, or whatever our reasons are, it's not clearly stated in the way we are pricing. And it's one of the most critical mistakes groomers make is going by size and by weight. And just going with the flow, these are the most popular pricing methods out there. They have the most history, but when you understand the impact and the importance of showing the value to the clients, you're going to see how outdated these are. And you're going to see the instant benefits of pricing your services in a way that reflects value, not just size or weight or breed. We're going to talk about this in the next, or the one after the next session. Next section, not session, section. The other layer, then the last one in this part, in this first part, is pitching to a different client prospect group. We touched it briefly whenever we were talking about quantity, quality, and experienced people. But I want you to see this from higher above, like birdview perspective. And you can understand that you can pitch to all these different client prospect groups at once. And highly likely, you already have quite a few clients from each group, each client prospect groups, or at least from the bargain hunter and the quality groups. If you don't have premium clients, like high-end clients, then you still can pitch to them, and you can balance out and mix and match the number of clients you want from each group. Currently, I pitch to quality and experienced people, mostly experienced people, and I have a mix of these two clients. I used to have only bargain hunters. They were 100% of my clients when I started out. I kind of traded the lack of experience I had with the need to generate income, even when I had to work extra for it, groom more, earn more kind of deal. And I just wanted clients to roll in, build my client list so I could pay the bills. That's simple. And then I realized after enough back pain and misery and super long days and hours, I was working 6 days a week and 10, 12-hour days. It was very, very tough. I was in my 20s and had no idea about business management. And I realized then, okay, I really need to limit the low-cost clients, because I need to keep in mind that I need to pay the bills. I need my back to be pain-free. And so I could be mobile and not cranky and hard to move and don't want to get up in the morning or couldn't get up in the morning. So these put me on the right track to pitch to client prospect groups, quality and experienced people, and volunteer and help the quantity people in different ways, not in the one-on-one grooming way, but creating grooming tutorials for them so they could groom their own doggies, or they could maintain their doggies' coat, so they would need to go to the groomer less frequently. That was a let's invest my time in one-time fashion to create those tutorials, share the tutorials with the client prospects from the quantity group, and so they could learn and make their doggy's life better. But I'm not helping in a big scale to quantity people. I'm grooming doggies from the quality and experienced people group. Great. Okay, let me take a look at the time. Super. So let's jump to the second part. How much should I raise? There are multiple ways to figure out your prices. The one I really like is figuring out how much money you need to make in a month so you can not only make ends meet, but also have a little wiggle room so you can live a life. So what's your number for your monthly income after expenses? That would be with expenses, sorry. So we can get that out of the way. Then break that down to week. Then break that down to day, depending on how many days you want to work on a week. And depending on how many hours you want to work on a day, you can break it down to your hourly rate. That will make your hourly billing rate for grooming labor. And you can throw in the expenses as a separate thing. We're going to talk about that later. This number will be your gauge, and you can look at this number in your calendar. How much do I want to make today? And how much do I want to make this week? And if you're using the right system, or don't mind doing it manually, you can calculate those numbers, or you can have your system calculate those numbers for you, so you can get an instant feedback of how much you're going to make that week, that day, that week, that month, so you can stay on track. And whenever you meet that daily number or weekly number, and you still have a few gaps in your week, then you can choose to schedule clients the next week, or schedule a few more clients for the open spots, and then get a little bonus without working extra. Then we can talk about how much my clients are willing to pay. This is a little tricky question, but it's rooted in the previous part when we were talking about the 3 client prospect groups. Obviously, people with limited funds will have a much smaller ceiling top for their budget. Whenever we are talking about quality and experienced people, they have much bigger budgets for grooming, getting their doggies groomed, and they are much more willing to pay for it because it's much easier to spend. It's like when I was in my 20s and I went to the dollar store, I felt like a super rich person because I could buy all kinds of deals things there for great deals. And I felt very happy. Now, if you put that on a scale, then people with more funds feel the same way, throwing around hundreds and thousands of dollars for a bag or for grooming getting their doggies groomed. So it's super important for us to understand that the price rate that you might feel uncomfortable with based on your own budget could be well within higher client prospect groups' budgets, and they wouldn't even budge. And most often when I give out a higher price to my clients than the average, like I have a client who has 2 doodles and she brings them over for a haircut every 4 weeks or 6 weeks, I can't remember. The system does it for me. And currently their price is for 2 hour per doggy session, the works all included: face, feet, fanny, bath, full body hairstyling, blow drying, 4FC, all over, scissor trimming the face and the tail. 2 hours of work. I bill them about $480 plus tax per dog, something like that. So she gets a pretty hefty price at each grooming. And it's weird because sometimes I still feel a little bit self-conscious about this price. But the funny thing is that the higher your price is, the easier your clients will pay the bills. She never missed the bill. Most of the time she pays before the doggies are picked up, though I not even require it. That's another thing, a great thing with clients from the quality and experience people, because you can let them go home with a 400, 500, 1K bill and they will pay it. And I actually prefer it that way, because letting them go because they can pay on their own time, and I can do other things like cleaning up or groom another doggy instead of waiting for them to pay. And it works out beautifully. So you don't have to worry about or be afraid of charging higher. You just need to get over your worry based on your own fears, or at least what I felt, and kept me in a restricted price rate. The moment I get over that helped me so much. There was a book, it's titled Get Rich Lucky Bitch, Getting Over Your Money Blocks, or something along those lines. You will find this. If you type Get Rich Lucky Bitch, then I don't really like this title, but the subtitle resonates with me a lot, to get over your money blocks. And listening to or reading that book will help you tremendously to get over this initial fear or anxiety. Oftentimes groomers come from the quantity people group themselves. I certainly did. I grew up fairly poor, and it was hard for me. I was DIYing, looking for coupons, and doing all the things that quantity people do. And it was very hard for me to get out of that zone and price higher. Actually, I had to practice it. I chose to go in front of the mirror and I practiced my prices. And in the Get Rich Lucky Bitch book, the author says, you're not pricing high enough until when you say the number out loud, you blush. And this is not the only method I use to set my prices, but it's a really good one, because oftentimes I aimed so low that I was not blushing at all. And then when I started to use this game and get out of my comfort zone, I was able to aim much higher. Okay, I use other data as well to build my confidence up, but it helped me, this little blush method helped me tremendously. So I highly recommend this for you to give it a try. Are you blushing when you're saying your prices out loud, or not? And aim so you are blushing. Great. Okay, let's take a look at my cheat sheet. Back to how much are my clients willing to pay. Oftentimes we shut it down like, oh, my clients won't pay that much. Have you ever tried? It would be nice to give it a try, no? Like a low stakes way? There is a low stakes way. The way I tried what the market is willing to pay for my services without risking my current loyal client base was, whenever a new client wanted an estimate, I gave them a higher estimate than my current prices. And I checked 10 estimates and their feedback, whether the client prospects accepted my proposal or not. And based on that data, I raised even higher for the next 10 batch. So let's say my prices were $40 an hour for my current clients, my loyal clients. Then for new clients, I was able to test out a much higher price, like $60 per hour. And they did not even budge. So I was like, okay, then for the next 10 client prospects, I will send out the estimate with a $60 and the $80 rate. And I was able to up my prices much more ambitiously than when I was raising like $5 a year for the whole package, not hourly. And it helped me so much because I got instant feedback from the market. I did not risk my current loyal client base. I just tapped the market. What are they willing to pay? And I was able to raise much higher. Within a couple of months, I was able to raise like $40, $60 per hour for that client prospect batch or tier, how I like to call them. So with this tiered price raising, this is how it's called, tiered price raising or batch price raising, you can collect actual feedback. And the general rule is in sales and marketing is if you get 3 yeses out of 10 estimates, then you're priced correctly. If you get 10 yeses out of 10, your prices are too low. The market can handle a lot more. And oftentimes we groomers fear this no game. And it's critical. I was terrified getting no. I wanted to please people. But I had to realize that I either please people and live with back pain, or I negotiate my prices and cater to client prospects who are willing to support me in a way that my back won't hurt. And that needs earning more and working less. And this is the way I found the most comfortable and risk-free to keep your loyal client base, raise them moderately. So let's say if you charge $60 per hour for that client, that loyal client batch, whenever it's January 1st, I'm going to raise them moderately. I'm going to raise $5, $10 an hour or 10, 15, depending on the market and the tip rate and the other things that you can calculate with. But definitely I'm not going to raise them super ambitiously. For new clients though, I'm going to raise ambitiously so I can grow my income significantly. This is how we got the house we live in right now, this one. And I earned $86,000 that year before 2 years before we got the house, something like that. And we knew that we wanted to get a house, and we had to show proof of income, higher income, so we would get the loan. And we tweaked the business. I raised my prices, and I went from $86,000 one year to $164 the very next. So we got the house, we got the loan, and it's been a blessing. So if you want a house, or if you have something else in mind that you will need some funds for, then tiered pricing is a beautiful and very fast way to get there. In a couple of months, you can raise your income significantly and without risking your current client base. So we talked about these two. Awesome. And this way, you're not just aiming in the wild, but you collect feedback, check that 10 feedback from the estimates, and see how your clients react. And you can gauge the next raise for the next 10 estimates, and then you can price your rates beautifully. Okay, the next session for this part is balancing your current client with your desired income. This way, with this price method, you can keep most of your regulars, so you have a fixed revenue that you can trust. That's your income. No one is touching that. And you can negotiate prices, raising prices for new clients ambitiously, the way we talked about, and raising prices to make room for new clients, moderate to ambitious rate to your current client base, to those clients who are not that good fit. And you will be willing to work with them for a higher rate than they currently do, or help them find another groomer. This helps as well for clients who you don't have that good fit with. Awesome. So the third section, how do I present the new price to my clients so they will be the most likely to get it, love it, and pay it? Generally, groomers collect a few questions about the doggies and answers and analyze how big of a job it is, and then they give a one-liner estimate like, for the works, it's going to be $100 for that dog. And I'm not a big fan of that. I used to do that, but I see the great feedback from clients when I provide an itemized estimate and invoice. No typing involved, don't worry. I wouldn't want to do that myself, and I don't want you to type these up either. If you use the right system, you're gonna be able to have the system generate this for you, the itemized estimates and invoices. This way, you can provide clarity, simplicity, transparency, and education for your clients. So you can show the value that they get, and you can name your services in a way that the clients will understand. Oftentimes, this lack of education and this lack of knowledge from the clients and show up as, why does this cost so much? Or what does my doggy need? Or I just want my dog to get groomed. And they don't grasp all the grooming steps involved and the way that those grooming steps could be done. For example, naming your packages, services to show value and transparency. If you have the works or full groom or all-inclusive, whatever package name, and under that you name the services like face, feet, fanny trim and nails, bath and towel drying, hand blow drying. Right there at the hand blow drying step, you distinguish yourself from grooming salons who use cage dryers. And it's a huge value for grooming client prospect groups, experience and quality people. Those people find it non-negotiable to have a one-on-one service and hand blow drying for their doggies. And to be able to support that level of service with human resources, since you are limited edition and you work alone, then you need to raise your prices because you are the only one who can do that in your spa. And client prospects love it. So many client prospects and clients and pet owners are transitioning from this, let's get over with this, no matter what the doggies or my experience, into, I want a great trim and I want my doggy to enjoy the haircut and the appointment, the spa day, just like I do it at my own spa day. And it's an awesome winning point whenever you're trying to stand out from different options that the client prospects could choose. Listing grooming steps and duration within a package. I highly recommend including duration of the service in your estimates and invoices because it provides value. Your high skills are spent that duration on the work the doggy gets. This way you communicate value again to the client that all your skills are poured into their doggy's experience for that amount of time. This projects value. This explains value. Whenever we say small groom, $100, you don't tell the value. And clients, rightly so, argue about the price. Whenever you provide a clear and transparent name, like hand blow drying 30 minutes, clients cannot argue with that. If they want a longer trim and the hand blow drying takes 45 minutes for a winter coat trim style, then the client can actually answer their own questions just by looking at the two different invoices, itemized invoices you provide them, which is awesome because I don't want to hang out with them on the phone answering these silly questions, not silly, totally understandable questions when they don't have the answers. But when you provide the answers, they can answer their own questions, just looking and comparing the two invoices. It's beautiful. It's absolutely amazing how much less admin work you need to do and how much more clarity you provide to the clients and value. So they will be like, yeah, I want my doggy to be hand blow dried. And this chick does it and I will go with her. And you can do this without any typing whatsoever, which is great because ain't nobody got time for that. Separating supply fee from labor costs. It's super important, in my opinion, not only for you to manage your business and income and expenses, but also for your clients to understand that this was the labor cost and this was the expenses and the supply cost. And many other service providers do it. Auto mechanics, hairdressers, and so on. They all do these separated. Okay, labor for repairing the carburetor, whatever. And then price for the carburetor, the new carburetor itself. I don't know whether that is or what it does, but you see it as a separate line, and you can differentiate between the labor and the cost of the item that needed to be replaced. Same deal could happen at the grooming salons, and I wish more groomers would do it, because this way you can raise your prices separately for your grooming labor and for your supplies, which is great, because that way you're not paying out of pocket for the shampoo, conditioner, electricity, internet, whatnot. And you have clarity about how much these cost, and you can jump from a low quality shampoo to a higher quality shampoo easily without dipping in your pocket, but putting that on the experience tab for the clients, and they will be happy to pay for a super clean shampoo and conditioner whenever you're using better products. And you don't have to worry about the shampoo, the 1 gallon shampoo costing $70, $80. Not you are paying for it, the clients are paying for it. And it's a win-win, because they want higher quality product and you don't have to get the money for it. Just have the client pay for it. Super easy. Okay, we have 10 more minutes, so let's talk about the fourth part, the +1. How do I make the price update a simple and speedy admin-friendly task? Let's take a look at this from the billing methods perspective. It does matter which billing method you're using, and there are consequences to whether it will make it easier for you to raise prices or whether it will make it much harder for you to raise prices. Time-consuming, error-prone perspectives. So whenever we are raising prices for flat rates by size, by weight, by breed, whenever we're billing in these methods and we're raising the prices in these methods, then we need to update the full price list one-on-one at each package, service, add-on, and standalone service, which could be dozens of packages, services, add-ons, and standalone services. Whenever we are billing the clients by the duration of the groom, the only place we need to change the price is in one spot at the hourly grooming labor rate. That's it. So let's say you have one client tier, you bill your clients the same rate for everyone. In tiered pricing, price raising looks like, I want my currently $60 per hour grooming labor rate to be $70 per hour grooming labor rate starting January 2026. One spot, you change the $60 to $70, save, and your system is handling it for you. Whenever you're trying to raise prices in the by size, by weight, by breed section, then by the size, by weight sections, you need to change the prices at every level, which means it's going to be time consuming and error prone to update those couple of dozen services, packages, and add-ons. It can create confusion, and the moment you try to add a new tier, you need to duplicate all of that at every tier level. Say you have one tier in the hourly grooming labor rate billing method by the duration. If you want another tier, you can add tier 1, $60 per hour. You can add a new tier, $7 per hour. And you save it, and the system handles it in a way that you can link a client tier to a client. And then the system will automatically generate the price for you. Whenever you're billing by size, by weight, by breed, if you want multiple tiers, you need to create multiple price lists for and services and packages and add-ons for each tier, each batch. So that means if you have 40 packages, services, add-ons for your current clientele, then you need to duplicate that 40, make another 40 that we call tier 2. And if you want another tier in 2 months because you figured out that, I sent out 10 estimates and 8 estimates came back yes, and only 2 no, so I need to raise again, then you need to duplicate that and rename and reprice each of them and try not to stay confused. So the way you are billing clients can either free you to raise prices in an ambitious way, or to limit you and make it time consuming and error prone, or pretty much impossible to do it in those. So whether you're billing by size, by weight, by breed, or duration has a huge impact on how easy it is to raise your prices or how hard it is. Awesome. Let me see. Great. Ooh, I have a key down here. Hello, Tsuki. Super. So we covered everything. If you have any questions, hold on, Tiny. Hold on, Tiny. Let me see whether we have any questions. Cool. No questions so far. Awesome. Then I will call it a day. And if something else pops up, you can totally email me and I will answer your question there. And Dinka is sitting up like, okay, I know it's coming to an end. Super. I'm very grateful for your attention. And I hope to see you next Monday about how to get done with the admin work before you are done grooming, which is getting to one of my favorite topics. Pricing and price raising are my favorite topics, but that admin thing is getting to the point when it's getting ahead of these two topics right now. We have huge updates that we are beta testing right now, so I'm very excited to share them with you next Monday, same time, 10 a.m. And we will be here with Dinka and the rest of the pets and hope to see you there too. I appreciate your time, and until then, bye. Have a nice day.